to the change in gravitational potential energy, which is delta Vg12. Okay, so it involves the movement in the vertical component. Okay, if the component moving in this vertical direction, so there will be a delta Vg12. So it depends on the mass of the component and the vertical movement of the movement. Okay, vertical movement of the displacement. Okay, so the equation that the Vg12 equal to mg delta h. M is the mass of this component. Okay, so mass, scalar unit, so there is no direction. G 9.81, in this case we put only the magnitude of the G, 9.81, so it is always positive. So the positive and the negative of this delta Vg will come out from here. Change in vertical component of displacement. If it is moved from down to upward, it will be positive. If moving downward, it will be negative. So this movement will be positive. This one will be your negative. Okay, delta Vg12. Okay, so what I have here. Okay, so for example, we have mass equal to 10 kilo here. Okay, we have one component moving to point 1 to point 2, so it doesn't matter how is the movement. What we want to know is this displacement. Okay, vertical movement. In this case, the component moving downward, so delta H equal to minus 2 meter. So this one, delta Vg12 is equal to M is 10, G 9.81 minus 2. Okay, so in this case we have moving from here, going down and going up to this position 2. So the movement in this direction is 2, so it doesn't matter. What we want to know is from here, we will not take from down here, which is 4. We will only take from this distance to this one. So the only here is delta H is positive 3 meter, not 4 meter, but positive 3 meter. So from position 1 to position 2. So put this in this equation, you will have the answer. In this case, we have from here moving down, going up and stop at here. But if you see from this distance, it will be delta H equal to 0. Okay, so this one. Okay, so if the question gives you what is the mass of the component, and you have to determine what is the value of delta H, and then you put in the equation, you get the change in gravitational potential energy. The second last component here is the change in elastic potential energy. Okay, so this part is only exists if in the system there is a spring. If there is no spring in the system, directly you will put this one delta Ve12 equal to 0 directly. If you see nothing, there's no spring, goes directly 0. Okay, so if there is spring, you can calculate what is the change in elastic potential energy because of this spring. The equation is that Ve12 equal to half kx2 squared minus x1 squared. Okay, so in my opinion, in this chapter, the part for the change in elastic potential energy is the one that is quite tricky compared to other thing. Okay, the other is straightforward. If you see this one you can have, but this one sometimes it can be tricky to calculate what is the value of x1 and x2, because this value you cannot see directly from the figure. You have to calculate from the equation, and you have to really understand the problem. Okay, so what is K? K is the spring stiffness. Normally will be given in the question, or if not given, you have to calculate. Okay, from the other component. Okay, in this case, normally we have only one equation. So in this one, you will see that most of the problem that we give to you in this level of study, there will be only one unknown, so that you put one unknown there, and then the whole system can be solved. X1 and X2 is the spring deformation. Okay, S1 as S2 is the spring deformation. If the spring is stretched out, it will be positive deformation. If it is compressed, it will be negative. But this two, X1 and X2, is the thing that you cannot see from the figure because it is deformation. What you see is the length of the spring, not the deformation. So sometimes it will be quite tricky for you to understand or to determine what is the deformation of X1, meaning that the deformation at position 1, deformation at position 2. Okay, this might cause you some problem. Okay, but if you really understand this one, you will be okay. Okay, so what is the X1 and S2? It will be explained here. So let's say we have L. L is the original length of the spring. Original length of the spring mean that if you have a spring, you just make it loose. You don't put any force on that spring. It will come to the original length. So we call it L1. Let's say we pull the spring to this direction. So this spring will be longer. And this length we call it as L1, which is actual position, actual dimension at position 1. Okay, so this difference here, that the thing that you cannot see from the figure is the X1. That's why I'm saying that sometimes it becomes tricky because the spring that is draw for you in the figure is not the X1. Okay, you have to understand. So this L is the initial position without any load. L is when you apply load, force on it, and then X is the deformation, meaning that now we have the stretch one, we have X1 which is positive. Put it in the equation, L1 equal to L plus X1. So you have here, this is L1, L1 equal to X1 plus L. So L equal to X1 plus L. Okay, or if you want to find the X, you make X1 equal to L1 minus L. So same, you will have the X1. So this one, X1 is positive. But here we have the same spring, but we push using a force. Now it becomes this L2. L2 is the length of the spring at position 2. Actual length when we put the force. So the difference here, okay, which is from here to there. So the difference here is the X. In this case we have 2, so X2. Okay, so different here is the X2. In this case it is negative because L2 equal to L plus X2. So the X2 equal to L, which is shorter than L1. L2 is shorter than L, so L2 minus L will be negative value. Okay, so again, the L is the original length of the spring without any forces. The L1 and L2 is the length of the spring, actual length of the spring at position 1 and position 2 when you apply force. Okay, and the X1 and X2 is the deformation of the spring using this equation. If it is stretch positive, compressed it will be negative. Okay, so put in the equation, you will have the answer. Okay, so the last one here is the change in kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy. So there is movement, so there will be change in kinetic energy unless is the component, the V is equal to 0. Okay, so the equation is delta T12 equal to half m V2 squared minus V1 squared. So what is the m? M is the mass of the component. V1 and V2 is the velocity at point 1 and point 2, and we only take for the magnitude only. It doesn't matter which direction the V1, which direction the V2. What we want to know is only the magnitude. Okay, so as for this example, we have mass equal to 10 kilo. The first one, V going up at position 1, at position 2 going this way. Okay, at 2 meters per second. This one, second position. We have position 1 V to the right and V2 also to the right, 2 meter per second. And here V this direction, V2 this direction. This one is 10, this one is 2. Now we have this time of motion, V1 downward and V2 to this 2 meter per second. Notice that we have same V2 and same V1 but different direction. But since we didn't cater for the direction, we only want the magnitude. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4 cases, the delta T12 equal to half m V2 squared minus V1 squared. So it will become equal to half 10 V2, which is 2 squared minus 10 squared. Okay, so it will be negative something. Okay, so Newton meter. Even though the direction is different, but we want only to take the magnitude of the velocity at position 1 and position 2. So in this case, if the velocity at point 1 at position 1 is 0, if the velocity at position 2 is 0, the delta T will be 0. If the velocity, the magnitude of the velocity didn't change at position 1 and position 2, the delta T will be also 0. Okay. If the velocity decrease, it will be negative. If the velocity increase, it will be positive value of delta T12. Okay. So that's all for the 4 component. Again, U12 we have 3 were done by a constant force. If you see a constant force directly acting on the component, so you put this one. If not, you put 0. This one, if you see cable in the figure, if there's no cable, you put 0. This one, if and only if the system have friction, meaning that it is not a frictionless, it is a rough surface, so you have friction. Okay, this one, if there is a change in the motion, in the vertical motion, there will be change in gravitational potential. Going upward positive, delta H. Going downward will be negative. This one, if and only if in the figure or in the system there is a spring. If there is no spring directly, you will put 0. And the last one is change in kinetic, the difference in the velocity from position 1 and position 2, and you want to only take the magnitude, not the direction. Okay, so later on we'll go to the example so that we can clearly see how we put all the equation together in the simple problem, and then should you hoping that you will more understand the problem and how to use this one. Okay, so see you later.